Welcome to another InkdMage preview for WizKids here. I'm going to be presenting the WizKids miniature set Vecna Eve of Ruin, presumably for the adventure that's forthcoming. So let's take a closer look and see what's what. So this isn't every mini from the series. WizKids sent me a brick, so there are a handful. I didn't include the repeats, so let's take a closer look. And oddly enough, maybe you might think it's strange of me, but my favorite miniatures of the series, I love NPCs. And having angry commoners is really a useful thing. In fact, these guys look like they're from Barovia. They would be really great in a Curse of Strahd game. I love this one. She's got a handful of tomatoes and another one poised to be thrown. This looks like a guy, like a chef's hat or something, but I guess it could just be like peasant clothes with a torch. And we've got Uncle Fester here with a pitchfork. Maybe the player characters were allowed to sleep on his farm. He warned them not to fool around with his daughters, but the player characters didn't listen. When do they ever listen? So these are really good, fun miniatures to have. It's always good to have NPCs to pad out and populate your terrain. Love the ripped cloak. Love the expressions. If I zoom in here, she looks very angry. I love it. All right, so these are common, figures, skeletons. Dan, why do we need more skeletons? If you're like me, you like variety, and you like having all sorts of skeletons to be able to put on your table so they aren't all the same. So I'm a huge fan of having horde monsters like this thrown into the mix. So good job, WizKids. I'm loving this. And speaking of horde monsters, we have kuo-toa. And actually, I pulled all the 5 different sculpts, and these are the exact same ones in the kuo-toa warband that WizKids offers, where it's 5 miniatures, but this is a different paint scheme. So there's a new paint scheme for the kuo-toa warband, and maybe, which is good, because then you can have these in addition to those, but maybe you don't get all the ones you want, but you're guaranteed to get all of these if you do the kuo-toa warband. And I'll post more pictures. I did post the pictures with them on my Instagram. So I like having these. These really look like fish people. This is really probably the best design that I've seen yet for kuo-toa. And again, it's not an edition war battle. I love all editions, and I like the different representations of the monsters. Sometimes I do end up having a favorite, and I think these may be it. I'm going to assume that this is for the Vecna Eve of Ruin adventure. This Star Angler. But you needn't play that adventure, and you can use these for your own game. Maybe player characters are going down into the depths for treasure or for a rescue, and you don't want to just put in sharks or giant octopus. So you drop one of these bad boys in. Okay, some of you may say, Dan, I don't know, Mr. InkdMage, that you are such a D&D nerd because you don't know what this is. Listen, I've seen it in the books. I just haven't used it, so I can't really remember what the Maragon is. Some sort of celestial, I think. Somebody can comment and clarify that for any of the other people who watch this video. But But again, to show you the versatility and at least how I think, why couldn't this be an ornate suit of armor for a gladiator in the arena? I mean, it's kind of, he'd be spooky and scary. So, you know, or some sort of royal guard. I love finding varied purposes for the minis. I don't know if you were a fan or are a fan of Batman Beyond, but this guy looks like a villain that would be in Batman Beyond. It is a Moonlight Guardian. And I guess that makes sense because his head is shaped like a crescent moon. I'm imagining he's some sort of construct. And I don't know if this is a creature that's already in one of the books or if it's going to be in the Vecna book. This is a pretty gnarly dryad creature. It is a death bark or dead bark dryad. Look at the details, and it's very scary looking. I mean, honestly, players don't really often play, you know, their characters as ever being frightened of anything. But honestly, if this approached you while you were out strolling in the woods, you'd freak out. You'd probably crap your pants and flee. I mean, I wouldn't, but you might. Here we have a bearded devil. And with his halberd. Look at those delts. This guy is putting in some OT on his delts. I mean, he's doing face pulls, lateral raises, military presses. He's all around kind of jacked, but those shoulders are impressive. Feeling kind of envious. His beard looks like it's alive with evil. Evil! Anyway, good to be able to add fiends to your collection so that you can pit them against your players. And speaking of devils, we've got a chain devil here. He's covered in chains. His apparel is chains. I mean, this also could be used as a gladiator in the arena. I love it. Be good, really. It'd be interesting for Dark Sun too. We got this little guy. It was a spine devil. It's the smallest spine devil I've seen. I like it though. In fact, I like to get more of these guys because spine devils are good low-level fiends to throw at your players. Here we have a horn devil, and you can see it's got these big horns. The one thing that's weird to me is the black nose. It's almost like a kobold nose. But this is a pretty scary mini. Should intimidate your players when you throw that down for their heroes to face. Great detail on the leathery wings. And good to fill out your fiend collection. We've got an ice devil here. I always wondered why they went with like insect-like creature for the ice devil. But this thing looked like, if you had a couple of these, like they'd be great guards outside of, you know, the hall of some greater devil. It's a really good Ice Devil mini. I don't really have many Ice Devil minis, so I like having a new one, and I think this one looks pretty clutch. Of course, a Rock Demon. These are really good. If you play Curse of Strahd, you might need a couple of these. like the detail. I love the way the feathers look. You know, I mean, I don't think it's attractive. I think this thing is hideous, right? But I like a good detailed mini to be able to place down on the table and use as a villain for my heroes to go up against. Here is what is presumably a creature from the Vecna book. This is a blaze bear, and really it looks like some sort of fiendish bear. Looks like it's covered with some sort of strange infection, and it's got spiky growths coming out of it, torn flesh. So whether you're playing the Vecna game or you just want a mutant bear for your game, this would be really excellent for that. It's quite a good mini. This is a good dryad. You know, it's hard to make the minis inky black and still have details. So I think this kind of dark gray is a good compromise to give the illusion. The sculpt is amazing. You know, the only thing that always, baffles me is, according to lore, right, dryads were male and it was a punishment for failing tests, But again, you could have anything. You could do anything you want. But I like, it's too bad she got transformed. She has got a very shapely figure. And, now she's a little too thick in the back. She's all legs. All right. Love the eyes, love the expression. I want to do a, Underdark campaign one day, a mini one where the players all just play Drow. So adding to the Drow collection in any capacity is a good thing. This is a great mini. All DMs, would like this, to have the Warg Rider. You can start the battle out this way, then have a Warg mini separate and a Goblin mini separate in case they get separated or one dies before the other. But this is probably the coolest Warg Rider I've seen. Like the Warg itself looks fantastic. I wish they would. I don't know that they've made a Warg mini that looks like this on its own. I've just seen Dire Wolves. That's too bad because this thing is incredible. Love it. Love to add to the horde monsters. This is a named figure. Lisa Matulin. I don't know. She could be a pirate, an officer, and definitely has a pirate vibe going on. A looking glass, or is that a scroll? Either way, it could be either way. With a light crossbow, great detail on the clothing and expression on the face. Love me some good NPC minis, and she's a keeper. You can't follow the InkdMage without knowing my deep and abiding love of Eberron. So when I saw there was a new Warforged mini, look at that face, I had to have it. I'm so glad I pulled this one. It's got a bit of a different design for the head, but I love that it has like these built-in, features, the built-in light or hand crossbow and the arm blade. This is a terrific mini. I mean, you don't have to play Eberron to include Warforged in your game. But if you are playing Eberron, to have a great selection of Warforged is an absolute must. I would definitely say this is one of my favorites out of the set. Okay, I may have to do a little bending on this mini to get the arms in the right position. But this is Vecna. And I love the translucent plastic, and the purple flames, and the orange fire, and this red necromantic energy. I have like an old school aspect of Vecna mini, but I don't have Vecna, and this is a really terrific figure, especially if, you know, this is the final boss in the campaign, or, you know, perhaps your own campaign. But you could also use it as a lich, you know, of your own design. This is the pull to get. I think this is the one a lot of people wanted. I know I did. And you could use Tasha as Tasha, an NPC. Or why couldn't this be a terrific sorcerer, wizard, or warlock mini for one of your players? Let's see, how close can I get? Okay, you can see some good detail there. The laces on the bodice. This was the one I saw when I was looking at the minis gallery, and I was like, wow, I really would like to have that one. And I pulled it. I'm feeling very fortunate. Thank you, WizKids. So this has to be from Vecna, Eve of Ruin, a spider dragon. And clearly, it's a mutant black dragon. Black dragons are my favorite. They definitely mutated this one. It's really hideous. I haven't seen the stat block on it, but look at the nice paint scheme. I say it with every set they send. I'm so thrilled with how far WizKids has come with their paint scheme and sculpt, and making sure that things were on, you know, secure bases. You know, early on they had them on really skinny ones that you had to kind of assemble and they would snap, but they've really resolved that problem. So let's see, there, you can see the spidery eyes. Yeah, terrific. And of course, Miska, the wolf spider. Is that it? Miska, the wolf spider. So it must be some sort of demonic being. And look at it, it's got like these mutant spider-like wolves coming out from the side, and Miska's kind of melded in like a dryad. This thing has got a long tail with like a scorpion stinger and these scorpion-like legs. This is really a terrifying creature. I look forward to seeing what the stat block is like. Now I know the Vecna Eve of Ruin is a high-level adventure, starts at 10th, so I imagine this is going to be a powerful villain. And we've got the Bone Rock. Now, you know, seeing this thing, it makes me wonder, there's a rock in Curse of Strahd. If I ever run Curse of Strahd again, instead of having it be a regular rock, I'm going to use this. So let's see how big the rock is in comparison. So that's a huge base, but I've seen gargantuan minis, you know, on gargantuan bases that were about this big. So this works for a rock skeleton. Good detail. Really, you know, if you are doing Eve of Ruin or your own that centers around undead, this is a really cool miniature to throw at your players, and I'm betting you could fit a mini or maybe even two in that maw. So there you have it. WizKids, Vecna Eve of Destruction miniatures. I'll have a link below where you can pre-order them. As usual, they really get my recommendation. I think the sculpts are great, the paint job's great, and I really look forward to seeing what they put out each time, because it's going to enhance the stuff on your table. I love being able to throw down new minis that my players haven't seen before, or maybe you are just starting your collection, so it's always good to get stuff and build your collection. This is how it happens. You know, I've been doing it for like 20 years now, so but you got to start somewhere. So go ahead, pre-order at the link below. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like this, follow me on Instagram for some extra XP.